What's up, guys? Wait for some people to get in here. Got a little live going for y'all. What's up, man? Riley? I got a hello. What's up, Andy, David, Justin, Peyton, Brock, Ethan, Noah? Coming in hot. Jeffrey, Jay, Jackson, Tom, David, Michael. All right, I've lost. You guys lost me. I'm gonna wait till we got about hoping right around. Let's go with 150. 150. The Lawn Butcher. Thanks for the invite, man, but I don't have time, my friend. Purple. Oh, there it is. Somebody asked. They went for the purple. All right, I got you. I like that. Somebody remembered. All right, purple it is. Here we go. Thank you. I like this hat. I appreciate that. I'm always wearing Bushnell hats, so I might as well plug them right now because I'm supposed to be wearing a Bushnell hat, but sometimes I gotta sneak in the Yuli gear, you know? Sometimes I gotta sneak in the Yuli gear. So Bushnell, it's supposed to be on my head, but my logo was looking pretty good sitting over there in the corner, so I threw it on really quick. I might change it in a little bit. Blowing up live, he says. 104 people. Let's go. Let's keep going. Just got my 850. Love that, Justin. Congratulations, man. It's going to help your game out. I promise you that. All right. Well, 108. It's pretty late. The only reason I did this, I was chilling over there and I was thinking to myself, I need to chat with my fans. I need to get on here and I need to make somebody better. Instead of being a lazy bum, thinking about myself, I thought to myself, you know what? I love these guys out there and I appreciate you. So today's live is based around practice. All right. The reason I base it on around practice is because I've been practicing a lot lately. So I canceled all my lessons for yesterday. I had them all, or for for Monday, and I did them all today. And then I practiced a bit after. So now I'm going to be focused on practicing all the way until I go on tour. No more lessons. And so as I was practicing today, I noticed that now it was just this has to do with putting. I start putting. I'm putting all my different styles. You know, you guys know that I like to putt all kinds of different styles. Annie, hyzer, flat, push putt, spin putt, pitch putt, whatever you want to call it, shovel putt. And I'm doing this. And I finally, after probably only about 15 minutes, I started getting fatigued. Now I had 10 putters. So I'm putting 10 at a time. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Probably put 100 putts from about 25 feet, put about 100 putts from about 80 feet, and about 100 putts from 40 feet. And then I start getting a little bit tired, and I notice that like my practice is getting worse, and now I'm worried that I'm like going to get some tendonitis or something from overdoing it. So unlike times before, I would tell myself, okay, I can't leave till I, make these 10 from 30 feet, and then I would putt for another 100 or something. Today, I was a grown-up for the first time, and I just left. As soon as I felt tired in my arm, I left because I've overdone it before to where I'm practicing and I'm like, I get this thing in my mind to where I cannot quit practicing because I think, okay, somebody else is out there out practicing me. So I got to do this. I got to grind. And then eventually, then the next day I'm sore, my putt's different, and now I'm still not putting good. So I got fatigued and I just left. I said, okay, that was good practice for today. I'm not going to overdo it. And I left. That's what I want to talk to you guys about. Don't overdo it. Okay. If you overdo it, what happens is your putt will change over time. So if you've been putting for an hour straight, you got to think about it like this. Now, some of you might be different, but for the most part, like you putt probably 25 times around, probably right around there, maybe 30 times around. When you go and you practice putt, you're putting 100 times, 200 times. In my case, sometimes 1,000 times in like an hour setting. You're using these muscles, these fine muscles that are inside here, right? Like very tedious muscles with your fingers. And you're overusing those to where now your putt is actually going to be changing. It has to change because your muscles are getting a little bit fatigued. They're growing. They're getting stronger. Everything's changing. So it changes just a little bit. Now, when this happens, you have to understand that you're going to have a different putt the next time. And it's keeping up with that putt, not overdoing it, finding something that feels good. One of the one great games that I tell people to do, you might have seen this on one of my Down the Fairways, is I tell people to get your putters, right? And then go to 5 feet. Or no, 5 steps. 15 feet. And putt 3 putters. If you miss one, you stay in the same spot. If you miss 2, you go back a step. If you miss 3, you go back 2 steps and you try to make it to 10 steps. Now, what happens during this process is you'll actually find your problem spot. If it's 9 steps, 8 steps, 7 steps, sometimes it's 5 steps. But then you're stuck at that spot until you make it to the end. And then once you make it at 10 steps, you make all 3, you're done with the process and you get to go home and you don't have to putt for the rest of the day. I love this. And the only reason I love this is because it actually makes you practice where your problem spot is, right? To where you're actually putting at 7 feet, you keep missing one, you're going to stay there the whole time. You're getting good practice in. And then when you're done, you're done. You don't need to go start it over and grind again. You just made it through the whole circle and now you're done. Everybody gets carried away. I know a lot of you guys out there, I know for a fact that you guys are super passionate just with the interaction that I have with you guys, the nice things that you say about even me, the nice things that you say about other people, the great questions that you have for me. I know that you guys are all super passionate. Now that can be harmful because you get to the course and then you want to grind and you want to sit there and you want to putt for 2 hours because you think that's going to make you better. Yes, reps will make you better. But there is overdoing it as well, especially when you're doing fine, tedious work. It's just like writing. Like you could sit there and write all day. Eventually, you're gonna get burnt out. Your brain's just gonna be like, can't do this anymore. I know that because I couldn't do it at all when I went to school. I just didn't do it. That's why I'm a disc golfer. It's my bad. Not my fault. I would rather be outside. That's my excuse. All right, guys. Burnt out. Yes, you can get burnt out really fast by just going there and grinding it out because what happens is then you get tired, then you start missing more. And then all the progress that you had maybe during the beginning of your session, the middle of your session, or the very right before you get tired, all that good work and that positive energy that went into here to where you're like, I got it. I found it. Then all of a sudden you start missing because you're tired and you're like, where'd it go? I did all this for nothing. I knew it. I knew I was a bad putter the whole time. It was just lucky for this 1 second. I've been there. I've been there mentally. That's not the case. Putt good, have a good session, quit, get out of there, go do something else. Leave with some confidence. That's what I did today. I was proud of myself. I'm going to open it up to some questions. What do you guys got for me? Thank you for telling me your rating. Appreciate it. What is the meaning of disc golf? It's a good question. I'm not a philosopher. Proud of me. Thank you. Thank you, Traz. I'm proud of me too. Why purple today? Because somebody asked me about it right away. Sorry, I had to check a text message. Pardon me. How far can you throw? Far enough to win any tournament at any time. Big forehand tips. I'm all forehanded out for this session. I want some backhand tips or some putting tips, maybe some mental tips. Like let me get. I've been really focusing on the sidearm, and I would like to kind of pivot into a different direction just for this live, just so we get some more information. Okay, here we go. Best tip to build consistent putting form and release, especially at varying distance. Great question. The best way you can do this is, I really believe this is, and I give this example in a lot of like my one-on-ones, is when people are putting, they're all trying to make putts. Okay, so follow me on this. Everybody's trying to make putts, of course. Everybody tries to make putts constantly, especially in practice. You get in a rhythm, you start making it every single time. Boom, 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 boom from 15 feet. You think you're a genius. Go to 20 feet. Boom, 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 boom. You think you're a genius. I personally focus on the very end of my release point. The very end. I focus on the way my hand feels, the way my hand looks when I open my hand. The reason I do this is because I feel like that last little bit is the most important part of the whole release, or important part of the whole stroke, the whole putt. I don't care if you do a little flip-de-doo-dah down here. If you get to the same spot and you release your putt every single time, you're going to have a consistent putt. And we see that with different styles of putters across the board. Ricky's putt is way different than Macbeth's putt. Josh Anthon's putt is way different than Matt Bell's putt. The one thing that these guys do very well is they all have a consistent last point of contact with their finger, to where they know what their hand feels like, what it looks like, and that's the key. Okay? Because then you can repeat that process to where, like, I get so deep into it to where I want my hand to look the same. I want it to feel the same, sure, but I want it to look the same. I want the speed to be the same. Now, what happens is this. Then I don't have to focus on making putts. I have to focus on getting my hand to a certain spot and to make sure my hand looks a certain way when I putt. And if I do those things, I know it will go in. It's no longer me trying to make putts. It's me trying to make my stroke. That's the difference between pros and amateurs. Is amateurs are trying to make putts. Pros are just trying to do their form. And if they do their form, they go through their routine, and they look the same every single time, now you're going to be able to make putts. Not only are you going to be able to make putts, you're going to be able to make putts under pressure. Because then when it comes down to big moments, you have a putt right there in front of you. You can go, okay, I know that if I do this, if I get my hand to this exact spot, if it looks this way, then I'm going to make the putt. And you can force your mind to tell your hand to do that, instead of to just be like, okay, I'm here. Time to throw it in. I have no clue how to do that. We've all been there. I know I've been there. I've been in plenty of tournament situations where I just completely forgot because the pressure was too big, especially early on in my career, where I was just like, okay, I guess I just putt it hard in that direction and hope that my hand opens up at the right time. Now I know if I do this, I make it. That's how you build a good, solid stroke. All right, what do we got here? Appreciate that. This guy said, cool vid with Malt. Malt is my guy. If you guys haven't gone and followed Michael Holt, you're missing out. We do a lot of collabs. We have another collab coming. We're going to film tomorrow for you guys. And he's the man. He's been helping me out big time with just even media stuff. I drop ideas off of him all the time, and he's become one of my good friends. Michael Holt is a baller. Also, Shameless plug. Patreon. Made one. Finally. Patreon.com/Paul Ulibarri. If you want more exclusive content, go over there. Become a Patreon member. I have a new video out right now. It is a tier list with Simon Lizotte, and it's pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but it's pretty good. It's pretty funny. I just watched it for the first time myself the other night, and I actually enjoyed it as well because my editor is doing a really good job. Oh, let's see. Give me another question here. Do you like to drink wine? Love wine. Am I drinking wine right now? No. What, do I wish I was? Yes. Instead, I got sparkling water, peach pear, natural essence, sparkling water. I don't know. Favorite putter plastic. My favorite putter plastic right now is like the CT plastic, Crazy Tough or Cam Todd. All right, give me something. Best flavor. Thanks, Dylan. Isn't that good? It's pretty good. I have a hard time drinking water all the time. Like I take water. I take water. I drink water like I do medicine. Like I just chug it because I don't really enjoy it that much. But I really enjoy sparkling water, so I drink a lot of that. Mindset should I have going into a tournament? What mindset should I have going into a tournament? A positive one. Realistic one. No expectations. Should never have expectations going into tournaments. You should only have goals. Did you practice for the tournament? If you did, that's a nice little building block as a goal to go into the tournament. Okay, I practiced a little bit. Now I have something to build off of going into the tournament. If you didn't, then say, okay, I'm going to set a goal of having a really positive mindset going into this tournament. And no matter what happens, I'm going to keep my positive mindset. Those are goals that can help you perform better. So have positive goals, don't have expectations. Yeah, everybody wants more distance. Okay, here we go. How many feet could a woodchuck chuck a disc? It's a good question. Let me think about that one for a sec. A wood could chuck a disc pretty far, I feel like. That's what I think. Tips for more consistent release point on a backhand right-hand drive. Okay, so good question. Backhand right-hand drive, more consistent release point. I call this $1,000 release point, okay? Listen up really close. If I said to you guys out there, okay, I'll give you $1,000 if you can put it in the circle at 250 feet, or let's say 200 feet, because 250 feet is actually a good bit of distance for some of you. So let's say 200 feet. You have a disc and you have a swing and a release point that you're going to be like, I can put it in the circle, I think. And then you would throw that shot with that disc at that speed to the circle. Guess what? You have a consistent release point then. The thing is, everybody wants to play with different discs that do different things. And in order to make that disc do something like Paul McBeth or Simon Lizotte, you have to anhyzer it, or you have to hit it hard, or you have to do all kinds of different things with that, right? That's where everybody gets messed up. If you want a consistent release, that's your $1,000 release. Then fit, if you have a disc, angle, speed that you can throw that disc into the circle, now start placing more understable or overstable discs and throw it the same exact way. And guess what? You have a consistent release now, moving forward. Everybody tries to throw harder with faster discs. Everybody tries to throw, let's say, a buzz straight. I have 3 release points that I really try to get dialed. Hyzer, slight hyzer, and anhyzer. I never release a disc flat. That's the hardest shot to pull off in the game, is to throw something with a neutral stability exactly flat. Almost impossible to be consistent at that shot. The reason why I say that is because when you're pulling across your body directly flat, your follow through then brings the whole right side into play. So a lot of people who try to throw flat shots, exactly flat shots, pull it to the right. That's why when you see like myself in the woods, everybody gets all crazy about me throwing nukes all the time, right? But I have different stability nukes, and I throw them all at the same angle, which means I can literally, if you were to calculate the angle that I throw like a nuke on, let's say like a 400-foot shot in the woods, and then you tell me, okay, now throw 280 feet with this Raptor, they're almost going to be the exact same angle. That's my $1,000 angle. You get what I'm saying? Have a shot that you got dialed, then place different discs with different speeds at that same angle, and now all of a sudden you have a good release point. Does that make sense? Did I kind of blab too much? I feel like that makes a lot of sense to me. Let's see here. Tell me if that makes sense or if I need to go into more detail. Nah, you good? Thanks, Raymond. Makes sense. All right. Okay, we got people on the same page. That's all. When I go rambling on, as long as somebody gets part of the message, even though I just keep talking, we're good to go. Then I'm doing my job here with you guys. Did you guys know I get a lot of dislikes on these? It's crazy. Like, it's just a live me just like kind of spitballing with you guys, trying to do my best, and people don't like that. Like, what the heck? My bad. Didn't know. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Tunnel practice. Same kind of thing. All right. I'll go into tunnel practice really quick. A lot of these tips that I'm giving you guys, pardon me, you can really go into like the down the fairways that I have and find some of these tips in there. So I feel like a lot of you guys have not been watching all the down the fairways. That's what they're there for. Go back, look at the titles, and you'll probably be able to find what you're looking for. But I can go into tunnel shots really fast for you in the way that I do it. Okay. Let's just say, all right, this is a perfect example. Let's just say this is my follow through, right? If I follow and you guys are the tunnel and I'm the tunnel. Okay, so we have this big of a gap. If I swing my arm directly through you guys, it's going to be hard for me to hit the exact middle, because if I hit the exact middle, I have to release it exactly right there. Now, the way that I break this down for myself is I find what I call a missed tendency. My missed tendency is always right. I pull my disc. I rarely early release. Okay. Knowing this, now I can aim on this side of the gap, right over right here. I can aim here. Now, if I aim here with an understable disc, let's say that you guys right here, this gap is 300 feet straight in front of me, no bend left or right, just this gap. Then I can aim on this side, knowing that I pull the disc. The reason why I do that is if I were to aim directly at you guys, directly down this screen, the middle, if I pull it, I can miss to the right way worse. I'll hit the tree line that is the chat box. I would pull it into the chat box. Now, if I didn't do that, if I aim to the left, now my miss tendency, if I pure it, I'm throwing an understable disc. If I pure it, then I will drift down the fairway to the middle of the fairway, finish, have a putt inside the circle. If I shank it, now I'm going to pull it all the way across to you guys, and I'll still make it down the fairways a good bit before my disc hits a tree. So I'm initially making this gap right here as big as possible. Now the next thing, that's just one of the little tricks that I do. The next thing is I do that, but now it's my follow through. I told you this right here is the hardest thing to do. That's the hardest shot to throw. Now, when I do this move and I throw on hyzer in a tunnel, now I can aim it this way and I follow through up to where now my miss is, if anything, going to be high, it's not going to be right, which means my disc is still going to make it a bit down the fairway before I mess up. So if I follow through upwards, now I can't hit first available. It's impossible because my follow through isn't allowing the disc to come through to the right side of this wood line that is the chat box. Now I've essentially made the gap as big as possible. That's how you throw tunnel shots. I don't ever aim directly down the middle. I always aim to one side of the fairway, and however I'm missing that day, I hope that I miss it. If I pure it, then I pure it. But if I miss it, I actually still make it down the fairway and I get a birdie putt. So it's just playing the percentages. Does that make sense? Okay, should amateurs focus on the nuances that affect a disc flight like wind, elevations, etc.? Absolutely. Make mental notes about all that stuff because I can't do it for you. So whenever you're throwing a shot, however your disc reacts, take a mental note of it, move on to your next one. All right. How can I get an ace throwing left-handed? Go try to throw left-handed at a little teeny tiny hole, and maybe it'll happen like it happened for me. All right. Advice on finding a utility disc for a thumber and tomahawk. Not the guy for that. I've thrown one thumber ever in my life in tournament play, and I threw it straight out of bounds. So barely made it over the bush I was trying to get over. Didn't clear the little canyon I was trying to throw over. So it was a disaster. Not a tomahawk or a thumber guy. Tips on generating more spin on a backhand. Don't worry about it. You're one throwing, you naturally put spin on backhand. Now, if it's on like on a shorter shot, then focus on like pinching it more and spinning it, I guess. Let me go into more detail. I can go into more detail. So if I grab this as hard as I can, it has to rip out of my hand. I explain this like when you're throwing darts, okay? When you throw darts, and this is only for 150 foot and in or something like that, okay? So this is how I put spin on a 150 foot shot. I hope that's what you were asking. When I'm throwing darts, I don't grab it hard and try to throw it like this because you won't be accurate. You grab it, then you throw it with a nice little pop, right? You boo right at the bullseye or those triple 20s, boy. Wing. Okay. So what I try to do with my touch shots is the same thing. I grab it like I were to a dart, and I grab the rim and I pinch it. soft. And then think about it like you're backhanding a dart, just like this. Like if you were to grab a dart like this, you're not going to grab it hard and throw it. You're going to grab it soft and try to guide it in there. I grab the rim and then I spin it and I try to guide it in. The more I curl for little upshots, the more spin I'm going to put. And the more I can really kind of feel that rim. So then I have touch, right? When people say touch, I think that's what they mean because that's the way that I've been able to do it is I pinch and then I kind of touch it. I dart, kind of like a dart towards the basket. Hope that helps. Don't grip it hard. Otherwise, it's going to be tough to be accurate. Grip it like a kind of soft, kind of like a softie, like me. Nice soft guy. Is there an ideal height for max distance? 7'9". No. Paul Macbeth, I think, is 5'8". He rips. Emerson's like shorter than that, rips. Height helps, but you don't need it. Good technique, good timing is better than all of that. Since mental game is important, mentally, how do you truly overcome not just a bad hole, but a bad round? Bam, a beast. Good question, my friend. I'm going to get into this. And this is the last one I'm going to get into. Then I got to bounce. How do you get over a bad round? This is how you do it. Well, I can only go into how I get over bad rounds. I know that I'm a world-class golfer. I still have horrible rounds. But I have to understand that over time, it's going to average out to where I'm going to play right around probably 10-30 golf over a tournament. Sometimes higher, sometimes lower. Now, I can use ratings as an example in this just because you guys all understand that, even though I don't like ratings. But it's easy to use this analogy. If I shoot a 920 rated round, okay, it's an awful round for me. I'll be disappointed, but I'll also know what I did wrong in the round to not do it for the next round. Plus, I can honestly tell myself, okay, that's fine, but eventually I'm going to shoot a couple 1060s to average it up. So then I'm always being optimistic about the coming holes, the coming rounds, and the coming tournaments. I always know it's going to average up because for the past 10 years, that's just what's happened for me is I've been right around a 1030 rated golfer, up and down from there. That gives me comfort in knowing that even if I go, I think this last year I had 4 bogeys in a row in a tournament for the first time in like years. And instead of getting like insanely mad, I just started laughing because I was just thinking like, oh my gosh, like I've never had 4 in a row, 4 bogeys in a row. This is crazy. I don't even know how this is possible. I think it was at the GMC maybe. And it's a perfect example of the GMC. I had 4 bogeys in a row on the live card. And I remember thinking there and sitting there, and Eagle McMahon was next to me, and I'm like, I've never had 4 bogeys in a row. I don't think this is crazy. Like, it wouldn't stop. But I also knew in my mind, okay, at any point I could get 10 in a row and it'll all average out. And so it's just having a positive mindset is the most important thing. Is even after a bad round, you can be mad and all of those things. But you also have to remember that that's not going to get you anywhere. Everybody gets all pouty and down about your bad round, sure. It's about being positive and understanding, okay, I'm going to bounce back from this. I'm going to get birdies. It's going to average out. Over my career, it's always average out to that. So it's kind of like a nice feeling for me as far as that's how I do it. Pretty positive person. Okay. Bama, you're welcome, buddy. Hope that helped. Predictions on Brody's 2021 season. Sure. I'll give you some predictions. He's going to do just fine. Guy's a grinder. He works really hard. I expect some good finishes, and I expect some not so good finishes. That's what happens when you first go on tour. Let's see. I already said I had one more thing, and then I was out of here. Before I go, I just want to tell you guys how thankful I am that you guys have subscribed to my channel, and use me for, an outlet to learn. It means a lot to me. I really appreciate and love you guys. I love the support that I get from you guys, and it makes it really easy for me to come over here, jump on here, for what has it been, 36 minutes to talk to you guys, to try to give you any of the knowledge that I have. I'm just so thankful for you guys. So just remember that. And the next time I have some free time, I'll jump on here and chat with you guys. We've maintained 340 people. That's awesome. I really appreciate it. Like I said, if you guys want to check out that cool content, patreon.com/Paul Ulibarri. You can get on there and check out a really fun video that I made with Simon, a tier list video about people's style. It's quite funny, very entertaining. And anyways, I just really appreciate you guys. Like I said, I will repeat that over and over, even if it makes you guys cringe. Just remember that I love you and I appreciate you, and I'll get back on here as soon as I can. Remember, the first person who tells me the color when I go live, they get that color. Purple was it today. All right, I'm out of here. I don't even know how to end this thing. Peace. Still haven't ended it, huh?